Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Quinati, and this is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video for the dissolutional punks. All right, yesterday we had a person that had an issue getting their fourth key in. I know it won't matter after this next update next week, but still, until then, kind of just wait until everybody's got their keys. I'll go ahead and do one of mine now. Generally, on this one, I can 2-key it, and I'm not worried about my chest really at all, but if somebody has 3 keys and they haven't gotten their 39 million yet or whatever it is, just let them get their key until next week the update comes, and then it won't be much of a big deal. So just keep that in mind. And for those who are still building comps and whatnot and having issues with damage, it's just a matter of waiting until you get your characters where they need to be. And that's really it. I mean, it's slow go when you're in the middle of, maybe hard and brutal, or brutal then nightmare, or nightmare then ultra nightmare. But realistically, what you're looking at doing is just taking a team, and then once you get your team, the best thing to do after that is to, after you get your masteries done, is to just farm dragon for as much as you can. It's tedious and boring, but realistically, that's what you're gonna have to do, because you having the champions is not nearly enough. What you really need is the gear to go with it. And so that's most of the game. Everything else is with, pretty much RNG free. You do your masteries. You get your masteries done with one team, and then when you get a new champion, you just keep doing your masteries. So I can't stress how much important that is. And the other thing is keep doing your arena battles. Even if you have to sandbag, go down a few levels, and then come back and do it again later, just to get your tokens and get your Great Hall working, so that your stats are a lot easier. It's easier to do the rest of your stats if your Great Hall is as high level as it can be. So if you put defense in your Great Hall and you concentrate on accuracy, defense, that's more accuracy and defense, so you don't have to worry about getting on your equipment. Your equipment can have other stats like crit rate, speed, because there are no speed or crit rate buffs in the Great Hall. So concentrate on those. Don't worry about attack in the Great Hall. It's worthless to most of your characters who are defensive based. And when you're doing Nightmare, or when you're doing Clan Boss rather, it's not about your attack damage anyways. Your attack is primarily for your arena characters who are attack based. So do yourself a favor and just concentrate on getting those numbers up for defense and accuracy, and then crit damage. And that way, when you first max your first Great Hall bonus, like accuracy is usually the first one, you'll notice that it'll be easier to get to 200 or 250 or whatever number you're shooting for, and then you can use other stats on your gear. You don't have to use accuracy chests. You'll notice you'll start hitting your debuffs a lot easier. And that'll be that. Defense, you want defense because eventually you'll have to get up to, for Ultra Nightmare, you want to be as close to 40, for 4K defense to 45 K defense per character. That's on top of having, above a 191 or a 191 to 201 speed. So those are two major factors for Ultra Nightmare. You can have the champions and have their skills all booked up and have the gear that you need for doing damage, but you're going to have to land them and you're going to have to live. So you want accuracy and you want speed and you want your speed to be right. Whether you're building a counterattack comp or a speed tuning or however you're doing it, you want to be, unless you're running a purely defensive team that is a slow defense team, you want to be above 191 and you want to be around 4,000 to 4,500. You don't have to overdo your defense on your defensive characters just to do damage, but make sure you're balanced after you get to that 4 to 4,500. And you're going to need that to survive, unless you have characters who can provide enough survivability. Like for instance, I have Duchess and I have Duchess, Arbiter, and Siphi. So I use the Duchess and I use Siphi because they keep me alive, and my squishier characters can focus on other stats. But that's about the only reason that you would do that. So all of your people don't need to be doing damage. I mean big damage, because they're going to do their War Master or Giant Slayer procs. So kind of concentrate on that, and you don't necessarily have to worry about crit rate or crit damage on these characters, unless of course you're using a comp that relies on going super fast and doing as much DPS damage as possible without poisons. Most people don't have that kind of a comp yet, so you're concentrating on keeping your poisoners alive so they can do as much poison as possible for as long as possible. If you have a debuff extender, congratulations, so that works, but that's having a good debuff extender is rare. I don't have one. I have Septimus, but he doesn't. I've tried him out, and I have to build him with more defense so that he survives longer. But if you have Vizier, congratulations, that's awesome. All you need to do is to buff those buffs or extend those buffs with Vizier to a certain point. Make sure he lives, and he'll stack that meter or the debuffs on the boss, and then basically all you'll do is you'll have one character who just sits there and takes a beating. But without soaking up that damage that one person's not going to live that much longer, so you want to try to get them survivable as possible. If you don't have a comp, or you don't know what a comp is, basically your composition is your team and how you put it together. So this might be tedious and common knowledge for some people, but it's not for others. So a team comp basically makes everybody in that team do a certain job. The first person in that team is going to be your attack down on the boss. You want to make sure that they're doing 50% less of the damage that they can do, because where it doesn't matter at the beginning, it will matter later on, and you want to get as far on as possible. So damage mitigation is great. Ally protect, counter attack, so that you can actually be reprocking those War Master and Giant Slayer procs. And then unkillable doesn't hurt if you have a champion that can give you an unkillable buff for a couple. Roshguard the Tower probably is one of the better additions just for the block damage. And block damage is probably the best. If you had two towers or somebody else, I don't know who else has block damage, but just things like that for damage mitigation, because you're going to want, like I said, and I'll repeat this over and over again, you're going to want to live as long as possible to let those debuffs do their work. If you're not running poisons, then what I recommend is using like a Longbeard or a Lanicus that does ally charge, and then somebody with a speed up like Apothecary, and then using like a speed lead and just going to town. But still, you want to make sure you get the defense down, weaken, attack down on the boss, defense up, attack up on your allies, and then whatever other buffs that can help you stay alive, like Veil. Veil's a good one. If you have a Norog has a natural passive that lets his teammates take less damage, and it's like a damage reduction. And it's natural, it's not a leadership ability, so that might be another win for some of you if you happen to land on Norog and don't know what he does. He also, for non-clan boss stuff, he has a block buffs, and he's a great character and all. I haven't used mine, but I have ideas for a team once I get bored with the team that I got, and once we're at the point where we're doing Ultra Nightmare again. But I don't see a point putting somebody in Nightmare if I have a good team already, because all I'm doing is trying to get as much damage in as possible to help down this boss so people can get double chests. Double chests mean better rewards. Better rewards mean better gear and possible better champions, and then we all win. But what I really would like to see is I'd like to see some progress. I don't want to see somebody solo attacking this with 24 keys just so they can get a chest faster. I want to see the team do the team job. It's going to take a little while. This game isn't something that you're going to finish tomorrow. So don't rush it and just let it happen. If all else fails, I usually have a tendency to wake up earlier in the morning, and for my time zone, I can hit the clan boss usually one last time if I need to. But I'd rather not set my keys off. And if it all comes down to it and we get to a reasonable amount left and we still haven't killed it by the time the reset comes, then I'll hit it for what I got. But keep in mind that if somebody misses a day, or if we have damage missing because somebody's sick or whatever, it's not a big deal. We may not get to both chests, but that's just the way it is. Eventually it'll get to the point where 5 of us can kill Nightmare, and then the rest of people can just get their keys during the day and not have to worry about it. And then we'll move on to Ultra Nightmare, and then Ultra Nightmare will be a breeze once again. Because ideally 15 to 20 people, we could get this to a point where we could get 20 people downing Ultra Nightmare and we'll be good to go. So that's pretty much clan boss and what I've been noticing here in the clan lately. Do your arena. Don't forget we have those events going on. Other events besides the tournaments or dungeon divers, which is pretty easy for most of you. If you're farming food, then you'll get points. Just one thing to note on the dungeon divers event: if you're doing auto and you're auto vendoring your 4 stars or 3 stars or wherever you're at, you got to take that off because you won't get credit if you auto sell. So you'll want to make sure that you build up all the gear at the end of the 30 turns or 30 battles that you're doing on auto, and then sell them afterwards, because that way you'll get the credit for the dungeon divers. Summoning Rush, I wouldn't even bother unless you really need some of these characters like Septimus or Richthof. Horden and Rowan aren't really worth it, and Baron is one of those characters who's really fun, but he's not meta-changing. He's not game-changing. And then you have the prize, which is Raglan. Raglan as a healer with a 2-turn heal, or 2-turn cooldown heal, is amazing. But, those are voids, and that's going to be highly unlikely. You have to get lucky in order to get something like that. So I don't recommend doing this summoning rush. What I do recommend, though, if you're going to spend money, go into the shop and buy the And this is if you're going to spend some real money, because they have a sacred pack which has 1,500 gems and 3 sacred shards. Now they value sacred shards at about $30 a piece, which leaves it at about $90. So they're charging you $9.99 for 1,500 gems. And if you go to the bank, $9.99 normally will only buy you 350 gems. And you can't buy sacreds, so you really don't know how much those are. But they were value those about $30 a piece. So what they're doing here is they're giving you a severe discount on gems, or if you want to look at it spread out, a discount on everything. $100 is a lot, but if you buy these now and in a month or two they have another ×2 sacreds, they'll offer more. You'll have that many more sacreds, and if you get lucky, then you can actually save them from your clan boss chests. Although I'm not sure that Nightmare drops sacreds or at what rate they do, but that's a good one. Mini mix packs, they're good for a few shards, and then clan boss keys, and then these are, I like them even at the $24. But I'll be honest with you, I have so many arena token bags saved up, that even just going full force in arena, I'll never use them all. So keep that in mind. This weekly progress thing, that's not a bad idea. I mean, you think about it, for the week you get 1 shard a day, an epic book, which is fantastic. And then the amount of refreshes, and then the day of XP boost, which is great. I mean, that's for 7 days, you can't lose. So there's that, and then the rank 4 chicken thing, I don't really care about that. So yeah, that's that. And I really want to scoop up the Elite Sacred one just for the gems and the shards, but I don't have $100. I spent my money on this last ×2 event, and then the event before that one. So I gotta chill out for a little bit, pay some bills. Nothing good in here. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I hope I hope the clan boss goes without any hiccups today. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and I'll do more of these. I'm trying to get more people to view them from the clan, just because I'm focusing them on clan dissolutional punks and a daily update. If there's not much to talk about, then I won't do one, or I'll just do a brief one, or I'll do a champion guide. But comment below on what you'd like to see, just from clan perspective. I'll do champion overviews on champions that I don't have, if you just got one and you don't know what they do. And then anything else as far as help goes. I'm not above trying to do like takeovers or shard pulls. So if we get to a shard thing and this becomes a channel that people actually come to see and enjoy, then I'll do all that stuff. But really what I need is for people to get involved in the channel. It doesn't hurt to subscribe, and like I said, if you're in this clan, then you want to be part of it as more than just a spot filler. We don't want people in this clan that are just playing a game and don't really care about the game. If you want to join one of those casual guilds or clans, they're out there. I personally am sick and tired of casual guilds, because you always have people who really aren't trying. And in this game, if you are the one that's really trying and you're surrounded by people who aren't, it can drag you down. And I have a feeling that for the most part, everybody here is trying at a reasonable pace. So that's why I'm doing these videos, because sometimes you get stuck, you get a hiccup, and something happens, and you need a little bit of help. Well, that's what I'm trying to be here for. So once again, like and subscribe. follow me on this one for new videos. I'll post this one in the clan Discord. And then the rest of you have a great day. Enjoy the video.